there, happy hump day and welcome to Wednesday. I'm sure you've been here. I know I certainly have. It's that time when you've started a new project or there's a new idea or concept that you're involved with. Whatever the situation, it's new, it's exciting, you've got energy, you're enthusiastic, you're excited by the possibilities. You're imagining what it's going to be like when you get to the finish line. You start with all those great intentions, huge levels of excitement and enthusiasm. And then roadblock, issue after issue after issue. Momentum gets harder. Progress starts to stall. And it's when that happens that it can be easy to want to walk away. The challenge with anything that is new, big project, smaller project, whatever the context, there's a danger when we look too far ahead, when we're too focused on the finish line. Former British Prime Minister Winston Churchill once said, "It's a mistake to look too far ahead. Only one link in the chain of destiny can be handled at any one time." Now, while his comment was made in a completely different context to the world of work that you or I are currently in, his comment still has applicability today because there is a danger in looking too far ahead. When we imagine the finish line, we think about the excitement and the enjoyment, whatever that emotion's going to feel when we've achieved what it is that we set out to achieve. We overlook the challenges, the hurdles that are invariably going to come our way as we're working through things. Kicking off's easy. The hard part, sustaining the energy, maintaining the momentum, and keeping on going when things get tough. Because we can all get swept up in that initial enthusiasm. We can all be overly optimistic about what we can achieve and in what time frame. Many of us think something's going to be easier than it's actually going to be. And we often overestimate the length of time that's going to be required to get something done, and also the depth of the complexity of what we're facing. And then when we hit those roadblocks and challenges and the things that start to slow us down, everything just looks a lot harder. Academic Rosabeth Moss-Cantor always talks about, everyone loves those inspiring beginnings and the happy endings. It's just the middle that involves the hard work. And so as your roadblocks start to look bigger and more insurmountable, that's when you can become more anxious. If you're working in a team environment, that's where the team dynamics can start to fracture. Personality politics come into play. Deadlines start to pass you by. People get nervous. You might start to question your ability or the ability of the colleagues around you. It's at this time that there's a real danger. And the danger, you stall, you don't finish. You go on a detour that's going to head you in completely the wrong direction. Or worse still, you stop altogether. But this is when you really need to dig in, because your two options are lose your nerve and give up, or confront those challenges head on. So when you're battling through those hard middles, there's a few things that are worth considering, because these are elements that can help you find your way through. Firstly, be really clear on those goals that you're working towards. When you're clear on where it is that you want to get to, it makes the navigation through those tough middles so much easier. You don't want to get sidetracked by things that are interesting, but ultimately irrelevant to your end goal. Break the work down into bite-sized pieces, so you are constantly seeing that you are making progress. When we make progress, we feel good. We get all the little happy chemicals that come out in our brain that motivate us to keep going. Celebrate your progress. Acknowledge the work that you've done and also the work of your teammates and colleagues. That's an important part. So often we don't spend time thanking each other, acknowledging what you've done, but also recognizing the challenges and the reality of the situation which you are currently in. Number 4, know where your efforts are going to produce the most results, the biggest impact. It's that 80-20 rule. There's never going to be enough time in the day to do everything that you need to do. So you want to know what you really need to do now and what the people around you really need to do now. And that connects back to that comment around bite-sized pieces. And lastly, continue to challenge yourself. The mindset that you're taking into this, whether it's fixed or growth, you want that growth mindset. You want to be open to the challenge and the learning that you're going to be confronting as you're going through this. Because when you're taking that growth mindset in, you're going to be more adaptable, more flexible, more agile, more willing to learn and recognize where you need to not just shift what you do, but the how you do it. And lastly, and this is hard, part of all of this is recognizing that yes, you've got goals and you want to achieve those goals, but sometimes that finish line keeps moving. Because you'll get to one point and realize, yes, we've achieved that, but there is still more that we need to do. You may find that you never quite come to an end. And that's okay, because that's part of the growth and the development that you have in the work that you do. And that's one of the reasons why I love the quote from Bill Gates, who said, if I had set some idea of a finish line, don't you think I would have crossed it years ago? Great food for thought and a good comment to end on. Have a great week. I'll see you next week.